I'm Aaron Williams. I am the filmmaker of Little Owl's Bruno.
Hello.
I was so impressed on how Jack did Bruno's story. The emotion, the characters, the beginning, the middle, the end. It was just so well done. For those of you that don't know, Bruno was a character that was created in All Engines Go. He was a big fan, and he was autistic. Now, I don't know how Bruno was portrayed in All Engines Go. I don't watch the show, but I've seen that so many fans decide to take Bruno and make their own stories about him, and Jack was one of those people. But there was something interesting about Jack's project, and there are two words I can describe the Bruno story: heart and passion. You can tell how much heart Jack puts into Bruno, not just the character, but the story, the emotion. And he told me that, he added a part of him, his experiences in this story, which was touching and really clever. And when he asked me if I like to film this project for him, I said yes. I was so excited to get to filming this, and it went really well. I'm so proud of how it turned out.
Most impressive.
One thing about filming Bruno is that it's not about just adapting the story. It's not about just taking a script, using that script and then bringing it visually. But it's also about bringing the heart and passion of Bruno to life. You have to have a sense of emotion, and you want the audience to feel something when they're watching Bruno. Now, Bruno was a little tricky to do because he didn't have the eye animation like the other characters did. So he had those things where you have to click on him, and then you have to go to the settings and say if you want the eyes to go left, right, up, and down, his eyes to be closed. So there was something very unique that Jack wanted me to do with Bruno. And Jack has been, every recording session, Jack has always been with me to direct me on how he wants his vision of Bruno to be. And he's a wonderful director. Again, I could tell how much passion he has for Bruno, and I want to make sure that this is what he wants. This is his vision for Bruno. But anyway, Bruno, what's so smart is that Bruno he's going through stress, and he's nervous. There's a lot of tense. So in this scene, when him and James are on the runaway, there's close-ups, there's POV angles, so the audience can see and understand how Bruno is feeling, what way he's going through. It's a very stressful moment for him. So you have this shot of him with his eyes. It's a close-up of his eyes, looking left and right, and then you have these POV angles of him watching what's going on. Again, it adds that tensity of Bruno. He's going so fast down the track, and James is screaming, Bruno, do something! And it's Bruno, he's shook. And again, it adds these angles, the close-ups, the POV shots. It adds that emotion. It adds the tensity of Bruno's character. Another thing with the emotion is whenever the characters have the eye animation. Now, of course, the mouths don't move; they can't move. And one thing I always liked about when it comes to moving eyes is to add emotion to the eyes, and that's what's important. It's not just the mouth or the eyebrows, it's also coming from the eyes as well, the emotion. So then you have a scene, like the scene of James when he's berating Bruno for what happened in the runaway. You can see like there's like his eyes are twitching a bit, and he's angry. Like, you could tell he's angry, and the eye movements, like he's twitching, like he is so mad. And again, it adds that tensity. So it's subtle, but it's clever on how you can do emotions with characters that when their mouths don't move.
Listen to me, Bruno. You got this. Take a deep breath and keep going.
This scene right here is my favorite scene I filmed in Bruno. The scene when Edward takes Bruno up Gordon's Hill, to show Bruno that like he is capable of doing this. Like he can do this. He has to keep going. And again, the emotion, you want the audience to feel something. So you could tell with the music and the voice acting. So then visually, you see it, and again you get that feeling like you're like, yeah, you can do this, Bruno. You got this, man. You got this. And then you get this angle right here. You see Gordon's Hill, how steep it is. It's how high up it is. Adds a little bit of intensity because Bruno gets nervous. And then the scene when they're at the top of Gordon's Hill, and that camera rises up, and you see this beautiful scenery of Sodor, and it just adds a sense of peace and hope for Bruno. Like, Bruno now realizes that he's not in pressure anymore. He's calm, and he's he's soaking that in. And then they go down the hill. Adds energy to it. It's triumphant. Bruno is comfortable now. He's happy. And then you have that beautiful music when Edward goes down the hill. It just really combines that so perfectly. Filming this project was such a fun time, and like Jack is not only is he just a kind person and like I'm just a wonderful friend, but he is so good when it comes to directing, and how he wants his vision of Bruno to be. It's special to him. It means something, and it means a lot to me as well, because I'm autistic as well. So getting this opportunity to film for him was just a treat, and I thank you, Jack. If you're watching this, thank you so much for letting me film this, because I have so much fun. I'm never gonna forget it, never. And again, it's like what I mentioned earlier. I'm not just trying to just record trains and Bruno and all that. It's not about that. It's about bringing the heart of Bruno to life, adding emotion, intensity, giving the audience something to feel. That's the important part. And of course, Jack loves season 3 of Thomas. Like, that's his favorite season. So of course I add that season 3 feeling to it with the lighting, the angles, and the roots. But we also did something interesting, like give a little cinematic touch to it, and I think it went out perfectly. With Bruno, it's always about moving forward. Don't stop. Just keep moving forward. Never give in and never give up. Watch Bruno right now in the Little Owl channel. The link will be in the description below.